Okay, so Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. This is lesson 8 now. Now, this lesson we're going to be talking about the next theme now, which is Bab al-Marfooat al-Asma. So if you remember, we talked about Marfooat, Mansubat, Majrurat, okay, and we mentioned about the different types of the states of the words as well. So now we're going to look in the Marfooat. So now by this time you guys should know that Marfu appears in several forms. Okay, so sometimes Marfu appears with a Dhamma, sometimes with a Waw, sometimes with an Alif, sometimes with a Noon. Okay, so those are the four things that the Marfu appears with. So okay, so here we're going to be looking at the Marfuat. How many types of Marfuat are there in the Arabic language? So I'm going to list all the Marfuat that he mentions, and then we'll look at the book near the end, inshallah. So Marfuat, the Marfuat are, according to him, he mentions 7 types of Marfuat. Okay, 7 types. Now his approach is a bit different from other approaches. So if you like read Hidayat al-Nahu, or if you read Tasil al-Nahu, or if you read any other Ibtida'i book, Nahu Mir, you'll find the Marfuat are mentioned slightly differently. So over here you have, he mentions 7, okay, and he misses some out which others mention. And this is why it's always good to read more than one Nahu book. Okay, so don't like just read this book and say, right, this is enough for me. Read more. Okay, so what are the 7? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a list, and briefly I just touch upon each one. Okay, so let me just get rid of that. Okay, so number 1 is the Faail. I'm going to write these names down. You can write them down as well, and then we'll discuss them. Now I'm going to give them my own names. Okay, naaib, Faail, which is what that I'm used to. Mubtada, Khabar, Ism of Kana, okay, is there no sound? Okay, so let me just repeat this again for those of you guys who missed out. So Marfuat we're going to be looking at now. Remember, there's 3 forms of the word Marfuat: Mansubat, Majrurat, and there's a 4th, Makhfuz, Majzoom, which applies only to verbs, fi'ls. So we're going to be looking at Marfuat today, right, the words, and we said that the Marfuat come in 4 states, yeah, with the Dhamma, with an Alif, with a Waw, and with a Noon at the end, yeah. So Dhamma, sometimes the Waw, Alif, Noon, and you can remember it like this: Dawan, yeah, Dawan, Dawan, yeah, like Dawan, yeah, Dawan. This is Dawan. That's an easy way to remember it. Okay, anyway, so Marfuat. So what are the Marfuats? Now the Marfuats, he mentions there's 7, but like I said to you, don't just stick to what he says. Read other Arabic books as well, Nahu books, read more advanced ones, and you'll see that there's others as well out there. So Marfuat: Faail, naaib Faail, Mubtada, Khabar, Ism of Kana. Then you have Khabar of Inna. And then you have one more. Let me just try to fit it in there. See if I can squeeze it in. You have the taabi, of the Marfuat. Now I'm just going to give a little brief kind of summary of these, each one, but each one's going to come in more detail as we go through. So this is why I'm not going to spend too much time on this. So first of all, Marfuat. Let me do some color. Faail. So first of all is Faail. Faail is basically, what you have to remember about Faail is this: Faail simply is the one who does the action. So if I said to you Zaid, let's say Zaid read, yeah, so if I said to you Zaid read, who is doing the reading? The action of reading, who is doing it? That person's that doing the action of reading. In this case, in this case Zaid, Zaid's doing the reading. So that's why we call Zaid, he is the Faail. Right, so in any sentence, the person that's doing the action, you call him the Faail basically. So any Faail that you get in a sentence, any person that's doing the action or a thing that's doing the action, you call it Marfooat. So Dawan, it's either going to take a Dhamma or a Waw or an Alif or a Noon. Yeah, so you're going to give it. Number 2, naaib Faail. Naaib Faail is basically something where an action is being done, but the person who's doing it is not mentioned. For example, like if I say, the book was read. Yeah, so the book was read. So the book was read. Who read the book? We don't know. But we do know what was read? The book. Yeah, so the thing that is related to the action here was, this is a passive sentence. So the subject of the passive sentence is called the naaib Faail. Now he calls it something else. He's going to call it al-maf'ul alladhi lam yusamma fa'iluhu. A very long name, and I don't like long names, so I just keep it as easy. Naaib Faail. Naaib means in place of, vice, someone who stands in place of the Faail. So when the Faail is not there, this guy's in place of it. Okay, and like I said, details are going to come later on. Next, the mubtada. Mubtada is basically a simple is rule. Yeah, so if I say Zaid is a teacher, Zaid is a teacher, so the word that appears before is called the mubtada. Mubtada means starting, the thing that started. Yeah, so a basic is sentence, the word that comes before is simply is the mubtada. Yeah, so Zaid is the mubtada here. And the khabar in this sentence, the khabar, I should have been doing this as well. Okay, so let me just make some boxes around here before someone complains. Alright, there you go. Khabar, happy? Okay, so the khabar is the word after is basically. Yeah, so after an is sentence, the word that comes after, which is teacher in this case. So in this case, teacher is the khabar. Again, the word Zaid, Dawan, yeah, is either going to take a Dhamma, Alif, Waw, Noon. The book is going to take Dawan. Zaid is going to take Dawan. Or a teacher is going to take Dawan. Yeah, why? Because they all come under the Marfooat category. Okay, next, Kana. Kana I got to show you in Arabic. Kana, yeah, not like Urdu Kana. Yeah, Kana Pakana. Not that kind of Kana. Yeah, but this is the Kana in Arabic, which means was. If I say Kana Zaid Taliban. Okay, so over here, you got the word Kana. So the rule is this, the ism of Kana. Now, the word Zaid here, don't worry, you're probably thinking, oh, what's the ism, blah, blah, blah. Don't worry about that. All you have to understand here is that in a sentence that has Kana in there, there has to be two components for that sentence. Here's Kana. There needs to be two components. You guys understanding this? Are you guys following? Yeah. Can you hear? All sound? Writing, everything okay? So like I said, Kana requires two components. One is what we call the ism of Kana. Now don't get this confused with, you know, what we talked about before, an ism, a fi'l and a harf. Don't forget all that. All that you remembered. Check it out the window. Yeah, so it requires an ism and it requires what we call a khabar. Yeah, so in this case, Talib is the khabar of this. Now this khabar, it's not this khabar, okay? Yeah, so don't get confused with that. Don't think, get a khabar. Yeah, not that khabar. Different khabars are for different things. So this khabar is for teacher, and this khabar is a different type of khabar. So you learn that as you go through, inshallah. So we just want to focus on the ism of Kana. So ism of Kana is Zaid in this case. So every ism of Kana basically in Arabic, yeah, remember that every ism of Kana is marfu. In other words, we'll take Dhamma, Waw, Alif, or Noon. Yeah, Dawan. Okay, so Zaid. Next, the khabar of Inna. Just like Kana, yeah, it works in that sense. You have Inna as well. So, for example, like Inna زيدا مسلم. Zayd is a Muslim. So again, the khabar of inna is this one. The khabar of inna is Muslim. Okay, so the khabar of inna is Muslim. So inna is over here. This is what we call inna. And inna, you've probably seen it in the Quran quite frequently. It's like, it means indeed. This requires an ism and it requires a khabar. So Muslim is the khabar of inna. And Zayd is the ism of inna. Now I wish they gave this a different name, because I know students, they get confused. They say, okay, so is this khabar? Yeah, I'm sure you're probably thinking that as well. You're going, come on man, these grammarians got nothing else to do, confuse us. So you're probably thinking, right, this khabar, and this khabar, are they the same? Are they different? Technically they're different, yeah. Technically they're different, right? So imagine it like, imagine like a doctor, yeah. So one type of doctor, he works in a hospital. There's one type of doctor who works in a GP, as a GP in a surgery. And there's one type of doctor who works on call-outs. They're all doctors, but they function very differently from each other. Yeah, they function very differently. So likewise, three of these are khabars, but their functions are different. If they had given them other names, that would have saved us so much time of trying to explain this to students and yeah, all that blah blah blah. So anyway, hope that makes sense. Let's get rid of that. Right, so get back to this. So the khabar of inna. So whenever you have an inna sentence, you need an ism and you need a khabar. Okay, so here in this case, the ism of, or the khabar of inna is marfu. And finally, last but not least, you have something called the tawabi'. Yeah, this one. So one there, one khabar there, one khabar there. These three are all called khabars. Okay, taabi. Taabi basically means follower. Yeah, follower. Just like some people follow football, Manchester United. Some people follow Liverpool. I might as well say all the names just in case some of you guys get a bit upset at me. Yeah, Arsenal and Aston Villa and Birmingham and this and that and all those. Right? So, taabi, I call taabi, I've got another name for taabi. Yeah, and I call taabi copycat. Copycat. Yeah, copycat means follows, copies. So, there are 4 types of words in Arabic which are known as the copycat words. There's actually 5, but he mentions 4. Yeah, he seems to just mention just 4. So we'll just mention the ones that he mentions. So write this down then. Na'at, ataf, tawkid, and again these are going to come in detail later on. You can read in the book, go down, slide down the book and you'll see. Tawkid and badal. Okay, I'll give a short little brief intro into these and then, the details will come later on, like I say. Na'at. Na'at basically means an adjective. Yeah, adjective. Yeah, like if I say to you, a small book. Yeah, a small book. So a small book is a an adjective. So the word here for small, this is the adjective, this is. Yeah, small book. Ataf is where you have an and involved. Yeah, you have and. Like if I say Zayd, if I say Zayd and Khalid. Yeah, so the word and, what it's done, it's actually extended the word after it, the ruling of the word before it to after it. So in other words, Khalid copies the vowel of Zayd, just like small copies the vowel of book. Okay, then you got something called tawkid, which is emphasis. Yeah, emphasis. So let me just bring this up a bit. Emphasis is basically like if I say something like this. If I said Zaid read. Like you're asking me, oh, who read? And I say, Zaid, man, Zaid read. Yeah, happy? So by repeating a word, that repetition of that word is tawkeed, emphasis. You do it for emphasizing. Okay, so Zaid, emphasis. And finally, badal. Badal is what we call substitute. Let me just write it here. Substitute. Yeah, substitute. So substitute is something like this. For instance, let's say I say, if I said Zaid, Zaid, your brother. Zaid, your brother. Sat. So Zaid and your brother are the same and one person. But why did I say your brother after Zaid? It's a substitute of Zaid. Yeah, it's the substitute of Zaid. So in other words, if I say to you, Zaid sat, right, it's fine. But let's say you don't know who Zaid is. So I want to clarify it to you. So I say, your brother. So this your brother, it's the copycat of Zaid. So you see the ones that I've boxed in green? Those are basically the copycats. So what the author is saying, the author of the book is saying, he's saying that any taabi of a marfu, like for instance, let's say Zaid over here, I wanted to bring a taabi, one of the taabis, here out of these four. Like I wanted to bring an adjective for Zaid, or an ataf, like and Khalid, or a tawkeed, Zaid read, or a badal, Zaid your brother. I would give that word which I bring after Zaid the same vowel or the same rule as Zaid. I'd either give it Dhamma, Waw, Alif or Noon, Dawan. Yeah, not the two, Dawan. Yeah, everyone got that? And likewise, the book was read. If I was to bring a word after the book, which was the adjective, not, or an ataf, the book and the newspaper was read, I would give it the same vowel as the book. And likewise, emphasis, the book was read. I repeated it. Or badal, the book, the Quran was read. Makes sense, guys? Yeah, you understanding it? So likewise, Zaid is a teacher, and you can apply it to all the rest as well. So I was thinking, how am I going to explain this to you guys using this text? Normally, when I teach Arabic grammar, I teach in my own style. I don't use the text for beginners. But you got a text here, so you know, what can we do, man? Yeah, these are end of times, guys. These are end of times. You got crazy things happening, so you got crazy teachers teaching books. All right, so let's look at this text then. So he says, Babu Marfooat al-Asma. This is the chapter of Marfooat al-Asma'i. The chapter of Marfooat of Asma. Those nouns which are marfu. Al-Marfooat sab'atun. The Marfooat are sab'atun. Now notice, Al-Marfooatu, it's got a Dhamma. You should, at this point in the time, you guys should be able to tell me, you know what, Ustaz? Marfooat, I know what that is. That's a Jama Mu'annath Salim. Yeah, and I can tell you, if it's in the Rafa state, it takes Dhamma. And if it's in the Nasab state, it takes Kasra. And if it's in the Khafad Jar state, it takes Kasra. Yeah, you should be able to tell me that without me even saying it. Sab'atun, right? This is, again, in the Dhamma state. Yeah, Dhamma, Rafa state. Wahiya, and they are Al-Fa'ilu, number one. Al-Maf'ulu alladhi lam yusamma fa'iluhu. That's naaib fa'il, basically. Yeah, so you can just write underneath there, all of that. This is naaib fa'il. Yeah, and don't ask me, bro, what does this mean? I'm not going to tell you. Yeah. Okay, the pointer, it's a bit difficult. I don't know how to change the color of the pointer. Let me see. Let me just have a go. Let's see if I can. No, I won't be able to change it. Yeah. Okay, so والمفعول الذي لم يسمى فاعله والمبتدا, and the mubtada. Okay, let me just see. This will work. This will work. No, that don't work. Okay, so mubtada, we done that, mubtada. The khabar, ism of kana wa akhawatiha, the ism of kana and its siblings, its sisters. So basically kana is like a representative of a whole family. Kana and its family, there's about 14 of them. The Kana's family, yeah, big massive household. And then khabaru inna wa akhawatiha, and the khabar of inna and its sisters, there's 6 of them altogether. Inna, annaka, anna, lakinna, layta, la'alla. Right, and when you go down, inshallah, we're going to look at them. وَالتَّابِ لِلْمَرْفُوء, and the tabi of the marfu'. Yeah, وَهُوَ أَرْبَعَةُ أَشْيَاء, and these are 4 things. النَّعْت, like we said, na'at. Ataf, tawkeed, badal. Okay, so that's basically what he wants to say in there, and it took me all that time to explain that. Right, let's move on now. Now, I actually wanted to move on to this part of the lesson, because this part of the lesson is the most important part. So what I'm going to do, let me just, if you got any questions, ask your questions. Whilst you're asking your questions, I'm going to increase the size of the image so I can write underneath it as well. Or actually, I'll write on the side, and yeah, right on the side of it. So 2500. Okay, right. Now the next thing that we need to learn is, we need to start with fa'il now. So we want to look at fa'il. What is fa'il all about? Subject. So like I said to you in English, okay, if I say to you fa'il basically means the thing that is doing the action. Yeah, the thing that's doing the action. The actor, Shah Rukh Khan, yeah, or Sylvester Stallone, whatever actor you guys, want to watch. Okay, so another example for tasked, or I don't understand what task means. Okay, so fa'il. So fa'il basically is like if I say this: Zaid read, Zaid ate. I'm going to keep writing Zaid, forget Zaid. Yeah. Or we say we ate. Yeah. Zainab heard. They helped. So in all of these, if I was to say to you, right, guys, if you can point out for me in these sentences, what's the fa'il? You say to me, right, Ustaz, Zaid is the fa'il here. We ate, what's the fa'il? We is the fa'il. Zainab heard, what's the fa'il? Zainab. They helped, what's the fa'il? They. Okay? So these are the, inshallah, Tawqeed's going to come in another day, inshallah, in detail. It's going to come in the book. I didn't want to spend too much time on it. I just want to give you a brief overview of how it works. So Zaid read, we ate, Zainab heard, they helped. These are what we call the fa'ils. Okay, you're going to call these the fa'ils from now on. These are examples of the fa'il. Now in Arabic, right, in Arabic grammar, fa'il is divided into 2 types. You have a fa'il which is known as a ظاهر fa'il, and you have a fa'il which is known as a مضمر fa'il. ظاهر simply means that the fa'il is a noun, after the verb. A noun after the verb. So if you got a noun after a verb, if the fa'il is a noun that appears after a verb, this is called the fa'il. And mudmar simply means where there is no noun after the verb. This is my own definitions, okay? So no noun after verb. If you have no noun after verb, no noun, then what that basically means is that the fa'il is hidden inside the fi'l. It's like incorporated inside of it. So let me give you an example. So ظاهر would be something like this. If I said قرأ قرأ, read, Zayd. Remember, in Arabic, you write from left to right. So this word here, after qara'a, this is a noun which appears after the verb. So this is what we call the ظاهر fa'il, the ظاهر. Okay, and dawan. So what vowel are we going to give Zayd? Yeah, it's a marfu, it's a fa'il. So we're going to give Zayd dhamma. If you can't remember what vowel you're going to give it, go back to the past lessons, look at the notes that you made or on the screen, and you can figure it out. Yeah, so qara'a Zayd. And a word that does not have the damir present, or it's hidden inside of it, hidden, yeah, is like something like this. If I say katabna, so actually let me make it like this. Yeah, I think what I'll do is like this. So here, in fact, what has happened is the fa'il is hidden inside of here. Katabna. It's the na over here. Yeah, we wrote. So you don't have an extra word written after it. If you had a word after it, the fa'il was after it, it would be called ظاهر. But there's nothing here. It's actually incorporated inside that verb. So what you've learned now is something new. A fa'il can either appear after a verb in the form of a noun, or if it's not there, then it must be incorporated into the verb. Yeah, that's how we understand it. So this is known as a mudmar. Yeah, this is known as a mudmar. Mudmar, hidden. It's inside of there. And that's what it is. Then now. Okay. So what do we have to understand from this? What do we learn from this? So what we simply learn is this. Is that rule. Let me write down a rule. Yeah. So whenever a fa'il is ظاهر, whenever a fa'il is ظاهر, the fi'l must be single masculine or single feminine. Yeah, so that's the rule. Whenever the fa'il is ظاهر, then the fi'l must always be single masculine or single feminine. Yeah, that's how it has to be. Yeah, this is how it has to be. So, for instance, if you have any fa'il that appears after a verb, like if I said to you, for example, qara'a, yeah, then after qara'a, any word that I bring, any word, it can be applied. So, qara'a الرجل, yeah, the man read. قرأ زيد, Zayd read. قرأ الرجلان, the two men read. Any kind of word that you have, then single masculine or single feminine if it's going to be a feminine. So for instance, if it's something like this. So قرأت, if the word after it is going to be a single feminine. So قرأت Hind, Hind read. قرأت Hindani, two Hinds read. It's a name of woman. Yeah, قرأت النساء, the women read. Okay, so the verb, if the verb appears, if the fa'il is ظاهر, then the verb must always either be single masculine or it has to be single feminine. Okay, that's basically what he's trying to explain to you. Now, there's a little bit more detail to this, and that detail I'm going to leave till next lesson, inshallah. Yeah, so that detail I'm going to leave it till next lesson. Let's just move on to Dummies. So Dummies, what you have to remember in Dummies is, I don't know if any of you guys have done surf. If you've done surf, it's going to help you a lot, trust me. Yeah, if you've done surf. So if you've done surf, you know that gardan, that they have 14, list of 14 verbs. Okay, so for example, like, let's say we had the word nasara. Nasara, it means he helped. Nasarat, it means she helped. And if you guys have done the 17 lessons with me, Arabic grammar, then you know what I'm talking about. Yeah. Nasarat, nasara. Okay. Now, let me put it in the list. So, nasara, nasara, nasaru, nasarat, nasarata, nasarna, nasarta, nasartuma, nasartum. Yeah. Nasarti, nasartuma, nasartunna. Some of you guys probably thinking this guy's gone mad. Yeah, don't worry about it. Nasartu, nasarna. Yeah, these are 14. These are over here. Okay, these are 14. Okay, one second. So basically, the verbs sarf doesn't change depending on the fa'il. Yeah, the verb doesn't change. It's either going to be a single masculine or single feminine. It can't be more than that. Yeah. When will it be more than that? If it's a mudmar. So if it's a mudmar, i.e. no noun after a verb, then the verb will change. So now look at this. You know these two, nasara, he helped, and nasarat, she helped. Besides these two, the other 12 that you have out there, all those other 12, those are known as fa'il mudmars. In each one of these, there's a hidden fa'il. So for example, in nasara, there's the hidden fa'il, huma is hidden inside of it. Nasaru, the hidden fa'il is hum. In nasarata, it's huma. In nasarna, it's hunna, they. In nasarta, it's anta. In nasartuma is antuma. So say antuma. Nasartum antum. Now these are going to come when we do Dummies. They're going to come in there. Nasarti anti. You can flick through the book and you can see Nasartuma is antuma, the hidden file incorporated. Nasartunna antunna. Nasartu ana. Nasarna nahnu. This is what I mean by incorporated fa'il. So in all of these cases, these 12 cases, apart from this, so ignore nasara, nasarat, the rest, they're all incorporated inside of it. They're found inside the verb. Okay, so this is known as mudmar. So mudmar applies basically to all these 12 times 12. All these 12. Not this and not that. So this is known as the fa'il mudmars. Okay, so that's it basically. Yeah, that's what it's all about. So the fa'il is of two types: ظاهر, where it appears after the verb, in which case the fi'l must be either single masculine, single feminine, and the mudmars are considered the one where you don't have. Now, yes, nasara, nasarat. What do we do with that? Yes, there is huwa. Huwa is inside of here, and here is inside of here. However, that's not always the case. Yeah, because when they're ظاهر, it's not in there. When they're ظاهر, then Zayd is the fa'il. Okay, or Rajul is the fa'il, or Hind is the fa'il. That's not the fa'il. Yeah, but the rest of them, they are always incorporated inside the verb. Now, lots of theory. Let's go and look at some action now. Yeah, so let's look at some action. So let's look in the Quran and see how this is applied. Okay, so 1 second, let me just bring up the Quran. Okay, I don't know if you can see it or not. Alright, so over here we have I don't know why that keeps showing on your screen. I hope you can see it. So ma kana Allahu. So ma kana Allahu, this is the ism of kana that we talked about. Right, remember in the rafa state, it's marfu. And the word kana is a fail, and okay, we'll leave that one, yeah, because it's going to become a bit confusing. لقد تاب الله, excellent. So taba Allah, the word Allah is what we call a fa'il ظاهر. Yeah, a fa'il ظاهر. And the Faail Zahir must have the Faail which is hidden. Yeah, so the Faail here is, the Faail must be single masculine in this case. Taballahu. Okay. In this case, taba, it does not have the Faail after it. So in this case, the Faail will be hidden inside of it, huwa. Okay. Daqat alayhim al-ard. The word ard is the Faail of daqat. So that's why daqat is single feminine, because ard is feminine. Okay. And daqat alayhim anfusuhum, again, anfusuhum is the Faail Zahir. So therefore daqat has appeared single feminine. Okay, let's go down. Okay, so nahshuru. So nahshuru, the Faail does not appear after this. Now, by the way, one thing to remember is, you know, in these examples here, right, the Faail will never appear after these 12. Okay, the Faail will never ever appear after these 12, according to the majority of the grammarians. Yeah, so these 12 will never have a Faail after it. So if you ever get a Faail after a Faail, then you always know it's either he or it's she. Okay, وَقَالَ شُرَكَاؤُهُمْ. So shuraka, that's the Faail qala, so that's the Faail Zahir. Yeah, and this is Dawan. Yeah, this is follows the Marfooat. Yeah, Dhamma. Okay. Tablu kullu nafs. So kullu nafs, this is the Faail of tablu. So hence tablu is a single feminine. Feminine. Okay. Yaftarun. This is a present verb. Okay. This is the not one of the two. So it's one of the 12. So therefore it's mudmar. It's hidden inside of here. No, it's not only for Madi. It's for Mudari as well. Yes, for Mudari. So he and she, who are here, and the rest the 12. Yamliku as-sam'a. So yamliku is he. The he is the Faail inside of it. Okay. Sayaquluna. Yaquluna. Again, it's one of the 12. So the Faail will not appear after it. Okay, and so forth. Yeah. So basically, that's what this is all about. Okay. So let's just recap what we've done today then. Okay, so Marfooat are of 7 types according to the author of the book. Faail, naaib fa'il, mubtada, khabar, ism kana, khabar inna, taabi, Marfooat, 4 types, na'at, ataf, tawkeed, badal. So keep this to yourselves, go over it, try and memorize it, learn it, put it into your screensavers. And Faail is either Zahir or it's Mudmar. And next week we'll talk more about Faail in a bit more detail, and we'll go through the book as well. And the rule is, whenever the Faail is a Zahir, then the Faail must either be single masculine or single feminine. And otherwise, the rest of the 12 forms of a Faail are Mudmar. The Faail is hidden inside of it, like I showed you on the board. Okay, so that's it. So I hope that makes sense. Jazakumullah khair. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.